I'll just dig a bit of...
Judy, it wasn't funny.
Wouldn't have known what was going to happen.
No.
But Wendy, where were you during the war?
London.
Whereabouts in London?
In Beckenham.
And well, how did the Blitz affect you?
Well, I was scared stiff. I was 14 and a half when war broke out. I could remember the day they started bombing. I was at a movie with a girlfriend of mine.
What movie, do you remember?
Afternoon. Deanna Durbin.
Oh, fantastic.
In... I can't quite remember, Five Pretty Girls or something like that.
That's brilliant.
And we'd left our bicycles outside.
Yes.
And I got hell when I got home because I had put padlock on it and my note was a new bike. And halfway through the film, we got this pounding on the roof.
Oh,
bang, bang.
Serious?
And it was the first air raid. That was the start. And
did you all know what that was?
We had to cycle. It had stopped by the time we... from then on, at 20 past 8, you could set your clock by it. The siren used to go.
And where did you used to go down to? Or?
Down to the Anderson. I slept on an ironing board. There wasn't... My father and mother had deck chairs. I had an ironing board and I was studying for school certificate.
With a candle.
Yeah. But there was no door on it, so we'd be in big trouble.
Well, your dad had just not got
Anyway,
round.
one night there was a stick of bombs coming down. You heard them, you know.
Was this like the doodle bugs or?
No. They made this terrible whine. Wah, wah. And it got closer and closer and closer. And when we got up next morning, the Anderson and the next door garden had a direct hit. My father said, well, that's the finish of that. I'm not going down there again.
Oh, they'd had a direct hit on their Anderson.
There was no one in it. But
they had a direct hit. So you didn't go down to the Anderson anymore?
The last bomb was a stick. They called them stick. And then we had a Morrison, which was like a great big metal table with wire netting around the outside to stop flying glass. It was flying glass.
Was there?
All your windows were crisscrossed with tape. And we used to sleep under that. Talk about claustrophobia.
But all of you together, the whole family?
Lucky you didn't have a big family.
And then I got away from the war by joining the Wrens. We didn't have any bombing. Where are we?
Where did you go? Bristol?
Lancashire. No, Bristol later. That's Lancashire.
Very.
I used to dread coming home on leave.
London was target #1.
Then we had the doodle bugs. Never experienced them very much.
No.
But I remember my mother being petrified.
Yeah.
My father used to go fire watching in the city 3 and 4 nights a week.
Fire, what was that, to help put out fires?
Fires on the roof.
Yes.
Roofs in the city where he worked.
Yes.
He was too old to fight.
Yes.
And then they had to go to work next day right on top of it. No rest. But the doodle bugs made this
apparently they were
noise,
terrifying.
And then they stopped.
Yeah.
And you knew
it was going to hit somewhere.
Yeah, and you did have a bit of a chance to get away from flying glass. You know, if there was a table or anything you got under it. And then, of course, the V2 started where you had no hope.
The which ones?
Nothing.
The what?
V2s.
V2s.
Rockets. And you had no hope. They didn't make a sound. They gave no warning. And Bruce, who was bomber pilot, said, I'm not going on leave to London, thank. Those things around, you got no warning. Café de Paris.
Yes.
In Regent Street.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure whether, I have an idea it was a bomb.
I think it was
It was
bomb.
either a bomb, doodlebug, or I think it was bomb. They had a glass ceiling. And
They've restored it all
it
now.
came right through the ceiling and killed everybody. There were about 300 people having dining and dancing, all servicemen, of course. It's still
I don't
there.
think we've even touched the tip of the iceberg when it comes to half the stories in the Second World War.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A lot. But your story is quite romantic, where you met your husband.
Well, he went to. We had a dance, you know, at Wren, and we invited the local officer. All the officers invited the local officers met, but some of them got bored with the Wren officers with their trick-on hats and drifted into our dance, and that's how I met him. But,
And was it love at first sight?
no, very much not. No.
What was it then?
Oh, attraction. Yeah. Actually, the night,
Was he a good-looking
actually,
guy
the
in
night
those days?
before I met him, I used to say my prayers in those days. This is true. I couldn't get to sleep until I'd said my
Said your
prayers.
prayers.
And I was so desperate. It had to be a pilot officer. I was not the Navy, not the Army. Had to be a pilot officer.
Or did you pray for a pilot officer?
Please God, send me a pilot officer, and I met him the next day.
Careful of what you ask for. Be very
Very
Thank you, Wendy. That's lovely.